Welcome dear students. So let's continue with the chapter on compound interest using formula exercise 3a. Okay, so we will be taking question number 12 to be the first question for the day, which says a person invests rupees 5,000 for 3 years at a certain rate of interest compounded annually. At the end of 2 years, this sum amounts to rupees 6,272. Calculate the rate of interest per annum, the amount at the end of the third year. So first you need to calculate what is the rate of interest. So let's see what are the things given to us. So given is the principal, this is your principal, which is 5,000. Amount is given to be 6,272, and we are talking for how many years? We are talking for, see, for the first case, okay, for the first case at the end of the 2 years. That's what the question says, no? So at the end of 2 years, your amount is this much. That's what the question says. So let's see what will be the rate of interest. Okay, so you know, for finding amount, your formula is this one. Okay, now let's put the value of the things that we already know. So amount is 6,272, principal is 5,000, rate we do not know, so that's why it is R only. N is given to be 2 years. Okay, so bring this 5,000 to the denominator. Okay, now after cancellation, you get this to be 784 by 625. Now what is the power out here? Power is 2. So similarly, if you want to express this in the power of 2, then you can write this as 28, because 28 square is 784, and this 625 can be written as 25, okay, square, because 25 square is 625. Okay, now again, like last time, we will compare. See, the powers are same, so that's why we can have from here, this will be equals to this much. Okay, so on comparing you get this much, and when you solve it, bring 1 here, okay, and do the simplification. On solving, you get the value of R to be 12%. Okay, so you may pause the video and note down your first solution for the day. Okay, so next we have number 2 is you are asked to find amount at the end of the third year. Okay, so this time your time is going to be 3, so that's why it will be equals to, amount will be equals to principal, that's P into 1 plus R. R is 12 by 100 into n to the power n, and the number of years is 3 in this case. Now quickly simplify this, your answer turns out to be 7,024.64. Pause the video and note down your solution. We have another question, question number 14. Find a time in years in which rupees 4,000 will produce this much as compound interest at 5% compounded annually. So basically given is 4,000, compound interest is given to be this much, and rate is given to be 5%, and you are asked to find n, that is number of years. So before that, let me find what is the amount. So amount will be principal plus interest, so when you add them you get this much, right? So this is your amount. Now formula for finding amount is this one, right? Now let's put the values. So amount is this much, principal is this much, rate is 5. So simplify this. So when you simplify, okay, so you bring this to the denominator, and when you simplify this after cancellation, you get 21 by 20. Okay, now again, see, we have decimal here. So convert this decimal into fraction, remove this decimal, put 2 more zeros, do the cancellation. After cancellation, this will change into this much. Okay, right? Okay, now factorize this. Okay, so basically what you will do is you will factorize this by, see, in the numerator we have 21, right? So factorize this by 21. Okay, and since we have 20 here, factorize this by 20. So if you do that, this can be written as 21 into 21 into 21, which is 21 cube. Similarly, this becomes 20 into 20 into 20, right? So this becomes 20 into 20 into 20. So this can be written as 21 by 20 cube. Okay. Now here also we have 21 by 20. Here also we have 21 by 20. So that means since this is your base and we call it power. So since the bases are equal, we say that on comparing 3 will be equals to n, or in other words n will be equals to 3 years. So you are asked to find the time in years, right? So that's why your time in years turns out to be 3 years. Pause the video and note down your solution. Let's have another question. Question number 16. Bit tricky but not so difficult. The question says, a sum of rupees 44,200 is divided between John and Smith, 12 years and 14 years old respectively. Okay, so that means the age of John is given to be 12 years and age of Smith is given to be 14 years. In such a way that if their portions be invested at 10% per annum compound interest, they will receive equal amounts on reaching 16 years of age. Okay, so basically we have to so let me directly start. So we don't know their shares, right? So what am I doing is I'm taking the share of John to be y. Okay, so that means out of 44,200 rupees y is given to John. That means the remaining amount, or whatever sum will be remaining, that is 44,200 minus y. So this is the remaining sum, and this will be the share of Smith, right? Okay. Now what happened is, see, for John, John is 12 years old, right? So for him to reach 16 years of age, how much time is required? 4 years, right? And for Smith, whose age is 14 years, for him to reach age of 16 years, how much time is required? Obviously 2 years, right? So basically what happens is, the amount of John after 4 years, when he reaches 16 years, will be equals to the amount received by Smith when he reaches 16 years. That means after 2 years, how much ever will be the amount for Smith, that will be equals to the amount received by John after 4 years. Okay, so rate of interest is given to be 10 years. So according to question, amount of John in 4 years is equals to amount of Smith in 2 years. That's what I said. Okay, now see, amount for John, principal is y into 1 plus r by 100 whole to the power n. So for John, time is 4 years, is equals to amount for Smith. Now for Smith, your principal is this much, right? So principal into 1 plus r by 100 to the power n, and for Smith your time is 2 years. Okay, so see here also we have got the same quantity, here also we have got the same quantity. So square and to the power 4 gets cancelled, so only 2 will be left. Okay, so only power left is 2, and since this is cancelled, we are left with only this particular quantity. Now let's simplify this part. So after cancellation and simplification, this becomes ln by 10 whole square. Now ln square is 121 and 10 square is 100. So this 100 goes over here. Okay, so you get 121 into y is 121y. So this 100 goes over here and gets multiplied here. Okay, now simplify this, open the brackets. So 100 into this much minus 100 into y is 100y. So bring this out here. So you get 121 plus 100y. This minus comes here and becomes plus. Okay, so this gives you 221y. So bring this 221 to the denominator. Do the cancellation. The value of y turns out to be 20,000. And what is y actually? Y is the share of John, remember. Okay, so y is the share of John. So therefore the share of John is this much and share of Smith is this much. Okay, and next is, okay, so first question was what is the share of each out of this much. So we got their shares. Now next is, what will each receive when 16 years old? Okay, so basically they are asking you what is the amount that they are going to get at the age of 16 years. Now you know that whenever they reach 16 years, they'll reach or they'll get the same amount, right? So you can find amount either using this, put the value, you'll get your answer only from this, okay, or else you can use from here. This is a bit complicated, so you can make use of this and find out the value, okay. So I'll leave that to you only. Let's see another question, question number 17, the last question for the day, which says the simple interest on a certain sum of money and at 10% per annum is 6,000 in 2 years. Find the sum. So first is simple interest. They are talking about simple interest. So simple interest formula, I hope all of you remember. So it is given that on a certain sum of money means we don't know the principal at the 10% rate and time is 2 years. Okay, so initially what is given is interest is 6,000. Okay, so interest is given to be 6,000, time is given to 2 years and rate is given to be 10%. Now in order to calculate the sum, okay, that is the principal, we make use of this formula from simple interest. Let's put the value. I is 6,000, R is 10 and T is 2. So do the cancellation, it turns out to be 30,000. That means the sum or the principal is 30,000. Now the amount due at the end of 3 years and at the same rate of interest compounded annually. That means in number 2, sub number 2, you are asked to find the amount using compound interest formula at the end of 3 years. Okay, so that means for the second case, principal is this much, n is 3, rate is 10. So use this formula. Okay, so I'm not going to explain this. So when you simplify this, it turns out to be rupees 39,930. Okay, so this is the amount after 3 years. Now they're asking you find the compound interest earned in 3 years. So compound interest earned in 3 years. So this is the amount. So amount minus principal gives you the compound interest, right? So your compound interest becomes this much. See, earlier simple interest was this much. Okay, compound interest is this much. So if somebody asks you what is the difference between simple interest and compound interest, you can find the difference. Okay, subtract simple interest from compound interest, you'll get the difference between compound interest and simple interest, which is asked actually. In fact, there is a question, a similar question, where you are asked to find the difference between compound interest and simple interest in the very immediate next problem, and that problem you will try by yourself at home. Okay, so you may pause the video and note down your solution. And with this we close. Thank you very much.